Welcome to part 41 of the Kicho Wongdong series. In this edition, we're looking at the technique Deah Tollyo, also known as the jump spinning back kick. Now, this technique is very difficult and only meant for seniors, green belt and above. My recommendation is that you watch the previous videos on the back kick and the pop kick videos on the pop snap kick and the pop roundhouse. So you'll need to have experience of jumping and spinning and being able to focus on a target. With that being said, for the warm-up, you can stretch, you can practice some jumping techniques, some more basic techniques, your back kick, your jump kick, spinning in 360 degrees, etc. But for me, the main thing is to have your back kick down very precise that you can land it accurately. Let's look at the technique itself. Just to quickly point out that this is the jump back kick, not the jump spinning side kick. So that's a different technique with slightly different variations that I could go into another time. The old method that I learned it was to jump as high as you can, rotate and then do the kick. And you do this by bouncing on the spot. 1, 2, 3 on the third one, lift up and kick. This is very effective. Nothing wrong with that way of doing it, but there is a technique called barachago, which means to stop kick, and you can do this with a number of kicks, but the three we usually use is side kick, snap kick, and also a jump back kick. And this method, I think, is an easier way to understand the kick. So this is the way I'm going to teach it. You basically face in a front stance, and then imagine someone is pulling your belt in opposite directions and spinning you round. So basically you're facing front stance the other way with your foot forward. So you've got your, for example, right leg forward, you spin forward over your left shoulder, and then your right leg is facing the other way. And just practice this a couple of times one way, a couple of times the other way. Now, what you need to imagine is, as a result of you being spun, your back leg, so let's just keep the left leg back for now, comes up and does a kick. Can be nice and low for the time being, and your feet barely leave the floor. It's just a little jump and a pull. So basically you're concentrating on the hips being turned more than the jump itself. Now, when you can kick and stand and be on balance, that's great, still taking into the basics of bringing the knee in, extending and retreating. Then you can try it on the other side. Then you can get a little bit higher. And then if you take that bouncing and the spinning of the hip together, you've got a jump back kick. So just to clarify that, you can practice jumping on the spot, nothing wrong with that. That's how I learned it, great way. But a better way is to think of it more like a stopping kick with no friction on the floor. As with the other pop kick videos, the option is there to lift the non-kicking leg to kick your butt. You can do it with the leg down, it's totally a reasonable technique, but for a higher technique, and I often find a more aerodynamic and stronger technique, you kick the back leg. So if you're not too sure of that, again, watch my video on the pop snap kick. I'm now going to talk about some common mistakes because they usually help to get out these bad habits before they get worse. The main one for me is the hip over-rotating like a spinning side kick, but to the point where you miss your target. So you either don't kick far enough because you're not looking over your shoulder, or you spin too far and your hip over-rotates and you miss your shoulder. So make sure, just like the spinning back kick, hips down, hips lock in like into a vice, then kick straight back, and the only part that you look over with is the corner of your eye, not a full head turn. The next common mistake is people not straightening their legs, and therefore their kick is short, and this is often due to flexibility. But make sure as you kick, like your back kick, you fully extend it and fully back. It's not a short lift. The third common mistake is people doing a little half jump before they jump. Again, when you start, you might bounce a couple of times and jump, bring your feet together, jump. But if you're actually going to use this in free sparring, it would give the game away. You'd show exactly what you're about to do. So try and kick from a standing position. Again, I covered these in my pop kick videos, but just to remind you, because it's very, very common, especially with jump spinning kicks. Once you feel you've got the technique down, it's always important to test it. Here are 3 simple tests to help you out. The first being, can you kick the target while jumping? So start off just doing your back kick, and one of the games we use as a sensitivity drill, so it's not so hard, is the badge on our dough box. We just aim and tap that. Do that a couple of times lightly, because it's your partner now, with the back kick, and then try with a jump. The second technique is, with modern technology now, you can film yourself, or they have even live photos. Make sure that you're jumping up, kicking with a straight leg. As you're in the moment itself, it's so quick often you don't really know, is your leg straight or not? It may feel straight, but it's not. So get someone to take a photo or a high quality video, a slow motion camera that can slow it down to see your leg fully straightening and then bringing in. The third test is, can you put power into your kick? So far I've been talking about just making sure it's accurate. Now we're going to try and kick things over. So start with something light, like I'm showing here. Could use a bag or a pad, something to knock over. Wave ride is great. And then see if you can jump up, kick, and wobble or even knock over the wave rider. The final test, obviously making it powerful and accurate, like on a board. So a board break works. Thank you very much for watching this video on the jump back kick. These techniques are getting more difficult now, so please make sure your basics are correct before moving on to these. Let us know in the comments below which technique you'd like to see in the future, and we will see you all in a month's time. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching. Thanks soon.